Okay, good evening everyone. I welcome you all in another session of vocabulary that is meant for RIMC. I hope you will find the session useful for you all. And as you are very much aware that in RIMC the vocab part is very important. Keeping in mind the requirement of the RIMC students, I have brought today's session, and I have divided this session into two parts. The first session that we have is, of course, we have idioms. And the second part of today's session, we will look at some of the PYQ questions in which the word meanings and one word substitution and even the phrases they were asked. So we'll look at this part as well. Okay, so in the first part of today's session, we are looking at some of the idioms, and we'll try to understand their usage, and we'll try to use them in a sentence so that it becomes very clear to you all. And I'm very sure that you will find the session enriching and will help you to build your vocabulary. So welcome you all. I would also like to take this opportunity to take some names who are very regular in our channel and who always keep sharing their thoughts with us. I think Anshuman is there, and somebody Ranveer Prasad is there, and some other students are there. So wish to begin the session. Let's look at them. Okay, so the first idiom that we have, take the bull by horns, and the meaning is to face danger boldly. That is the meaning. Okay, let's look at the example. She decided to take the bull by the horns and organize things for herself. Let's see the other example. I took the bull by the horns and confronted him about his mistreatment of the workers. So the meaning is very simple. To take the danger boldly. Okay, Pavan Kumar, with what name? Please remind me again. I'm doing good. I hope you two are doing fine. Let's move on. Teething problem. Basically, the meaning is the problems at the start of a new project. So that is what we understand from this idiom. For example, teething problems with the new operations system adversely affected the retailer's performance. There are bound to be teething problems in a new marriage. So I hope teething problem is very much clear to you. Okay, Atharv Joshi. Okay, please show the previous slide. Okay, which previous slide? I'll definitely take you through that one. Let me move on with this one. Eat like a horse. It's a lot of food. Okay, Seema is so thin, yet she eats like a horse. Another example, I eat like a horse after a good walk along the beach. The sea air really stimulates my appetite. So eat like a horse means eating too much. Okay, Kunal is there. Kalal, I think that's right. Okay, let's move on. Does not hold water. I think we discussed this in the previous slide as well, which cannot be believed to be true. Something which cannot be a true fact is what we understand from this idiom. Your explanation does not hold water. The best option is sound logical fact. Another one is that old claim has been debunked so many times that it just does not hold water anymore. Does not hold water. Okay. I want to also, request you viewers, do share your thoughts with me today so that our interaction becomes meaningful. That's very, very important. Draconian law. So this is actually very, very you can say a prominent idiom. The meaning is extremely severe law. Okay, the governor proposed draconian cuts in state aid to education. He criticized the draconian laws taken by the police in controlling the demonstrators. You will understand that there have been many laws which have not been welcomed by the people at large or people in general. For example, TADA, and there have been many laws. So the draconian laws are the laws which are very strict, okay, which are very severe in its, in its intensity. So that is what we understand from draconian law. Let's move on. Under your nose. The meaning is in front of. Okay, which is very much prominent. To be in a place that you can clearly see. She stole the shoes from under the assistant's nose. I spent all morning looking for the book and it was right under my nose the whole time. So the meaning is very clear, which is in front of you, which is very much visible to you, that one can see very clearly. Okay. Let's move on. Walk the tightrope. Let's understand. To be in a difficult situation that demands careful and considerate behavior probably. So if you walk the tightrope, you try to weigh the pros and cons of something and then you take a decision. That is the meaning of this idiom. I hope you will find it easy to understand. He is walking a tightrope between the young activists and the more traditional elements within the democracy movement. Next, the general was on a tightrope as to whether he should advance or retreat. Okay, some of them are sharing their thoughts, so I want to read actually. There were draconian laws for Indian during British rule, nicely shared. Really very appreciating. That is what I like to see the viewers. Have a bee in one's bonnet. An obsession. You know, something which keeps coming on your mind and it keeps you occupied all the time is what the meaning of have a bee in one's bonnet. She never stops talking about the healthy eating. She's got a real bee in her bonnet about it. It seems that Mike still has a bee in his bonnet over the criticism he got in the staff meeting. Okay, let's move on with the slide. Have a finger in every pie. So with the pie there are a lot of idioms. If you can recall some of them, apple of one's eye, but that's a different one. Have a finger in every pie, meaning to be involved in several different activities. Monica would not be so busy and stressed if she did not have a finger in every pie. He very much likes to have a finger in every pie. And you can see the image beside me. So you'll come to know that this person, Elon Musk, has a say in a lot of different things, different business establishments. So have a finger in every pie. Of course. Kill two birds with one stone. To succeed in achieving two things in a single action. So one action which can lead to two results, may lead to success in two areas, is what we understand from kill two birds with one stone. Let's try to see the example. I killed two birds with one stone and picked the kids up on the way to the supermarket. We can kill two birds with one stone by dropping off the mail when we go to the grocery store. So achieving two success with a single action is what is kill two birds with one stone. Somebody writes, Prime Minister have a finger in pie. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, great. Let's move on. Know how many beans make five? Very, very important. Well informed and sensible, intelligent. He may not have a formal education, but he still knows how many beans make five. The one who is very well informed, who is intelligent, who uses his, application, that is the meaning. When you apply your mind to something, then we come to know how many beans make five. Somebody writes, okay, hi sir, Prime Minister have, okay. Great, let's move on with more slide. Last but not least. At the end of, something, we use this very much. Last but not least, that means just as important as all the other items. Suppose I mentioned 10 things in my speech and then I conclude with one important point that I want to make, then I can say that last and not the least. Means the last one is as important as the other ones I had mentioned. Let's understand. Last but not least, I want to thank my wife Laura for all her help during the campaign. The television is big, has an excellent picture, and last and not the least, it's cheap. I hope it's going good. Okay, please try to understand the real usage of the idiom. Somebody was writing, something, but I didn't get that actually. That means Dhoni was not the last but the least. We are not actually referring this idiom in this sense. We are saying whatever we have, done before, and the last thing which is, being mentioned is as important as the other one. That is the meaning. This can be considered. Last but not the least, MS Dhoni came and entered the match. Okay. Great. Let's move on. Lead someone by the nose. To dominate or to control. Okay. Many people have this tendency of, controlling, dominating. So that's why we understand leading someone by the nose. I'm amazed that he lets them lead him around by the nose like that. Or I will lead the new employee by the nose and make sure he doesn't get into any trouble. That's the meaning. Made a beeline. I think everybody is aware of this one, to move quickly and directly toward something. When he saw me in the kitchen, he made a beeline for the door. Or I knew the boss was very angry, so when I saw her come in, I made a beeline for the break room. You can also let me know if the session is going too fast and you want to jot down, you want to understand, you want to share, so that I can slow down. Let's move on. Off the hook. escaped from a difficult situation. Johns agreed to go to the meeting in my place so that gets lets me off the hook. Means when you escape from a situation or maybe from a difficult situation is then we understand then it's off the hook. Let's move on. Now and again, not very often or regularly. In fact, it's every now and then. Okay, often. It's every now and then. We meet up for lunch now and then or now and again, but not as often as we used to. Second example, my mom has sweets now and again, but mostly eats only healthy foods. Okay, now I think we are done with these idioms and phrases. Now we are moving towards the PYQs, which are of great importance, and I want you to really look at them so that it becomes easy for us to understand. Let's look at them now. Okay, we have some PYQs and these PYQs of course are the part of the vocabulary itself, and what we need to do, give one word for each of the following expressions. Now look at them. A man who has too much enthusiasm for his own religion is number one. So, a man who has too much enthusiasm for his own religion, it's a fanatic. So, a person who is extremely devoted to a religion, so much so that he may consider others' religion as inferior, or maybe can cause harm to other beings or other human beings, I would say, is what we understand from a fanatic person. Okay. Very nice. I have received two responses. Let's move to the next one. A place where weapons, ammunitions are stored. Somebody writes arsenal. Okay. That's armory. Okay, in fact, where the arsenals are kept. Let's move to the next one. The one who pretends to be what he is not. Very, very important. And in political term, this is very much used actually. It's hypocrite, because they say one thing and do exactly opposite to what they say. So we call it as hypocrite. In fact, somebody says imposter. Okay. The next one we have number 4th one, the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. This is also equally important. We read it as rhetoric. So if you look at some of the politicians, they keep saying same thing again and again, and they sometimes harms the public with their rhetoric remarks. Or you can call it rhetoric also. That is what it means. Rhetoric, very, very true. We have somebody who's very much keen enthusiast about, you may use these words in your, vocabulary. Make it a part of your writing as well. Okay, the next one, a feeling of sadness mixed with pleasure for a period in the past. So that is quite easy to understand. Very nice. Anu Tiwari writes it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. Now comes the next, a literary theft. Plagiarism. Okay, when somebody infringes the rights and take a part of writing or a speech and consider it as his own is what? Plagiarism. Very, very important. So literary theft we are talking about. Very good. I think Atharv Joshi is there. Take our names. Okay, Ranveer Prasad. Are you requesting? Of course, your names will be there. Okay, let's move on. Actually, I requested the viewers last time in my last session when I left the session is that please do write in that which part in the vocabulary you are most interested about, so that in the next part of the vocabulary I'll bring maybe phrasal verbs, I'll bring one word substitution if you want more, because that is what armed forces exams are all about, and it helps us to cater to your needs. Okay, this is Anshuman. Okay, Anshuman, let's move on to the next one. Okay, it's it's gregarious. So you'll see that the collective names for different types of animals are what we understand from gregarious, and we must also understand that different groups of animals are collectively named from a particular word. Very nice. Can somebody share? Flock of birds. What else? Herd of elephants. Shoal of fish, and so on. So the animals which live in groups is what we understand from gregarious. I hope you are finding the session fruitful to you all. Let's move to number 8th one, and let's see one who leaves his own country to settle somewhere. Immigrant, easy. Coining of a new word or a phrase. School of fish, very good. Swarm, okay. Neologism, and you can understand from the the prefix itself. Whenever you try to find out, sometime even the synonyms and the antonyms you can find out, like new, like neonatal. There's a word called neonatal, a newborn baby. Neonatal, neo means a something which is new. So here if you look at neologism, okay. Okay, let's move to the 10th part, then we'll have correct meaning of some of the idioms. I'm still there. Okay. Please wait. Truant. A truant. That's how we read a student who runs away from the class or the school without permission. Okay, now let's move to this is the concluding part of today's vocabulary. Choose the correct meaning of the idiom phrase given in the sentences. Okay. Discipline is on the wane in schools and college these days. So, on the wane means declining. Okay. And I think somebody has shared this one. Declining Ranveer Prasad. With the name Ranveer Prasad, I think it's going to be Anshuman who has shared this answer with us today. Let's move on. There is no love lost between two neighboring countries. So its meaning is intense dislike. And two countries are having at loggerheads. I'm using certain words. They are in disagreement with each other. So they are no love lost between them. And there is strong dislike. The prince did not take after the king. The meaning is resemble. And last and not the least, the people were all agog at the airport to receive the victorious team. And the meaning is in a state of excitement. Oh, Animesh is there. Animesh. Great. Let's move on. I'm afraid he is burning the candle at both ends after his father's sudden demise. Overtaxing his energy. So this is very important to understand. When you work very hard, you become very exhaustive. Okay, you get really tired. That is what is the meaning of overtaxing his energy. And the term burning the candles at both ends is what it means. So with this, I wish to end today's session, and I hope that you will find these idioms, even one word substitution, helpful for your next examination, and you will use them in your day-to-day conversation as well. So I say goodbye to you all. And before I wind up the session, I would like to request you that if you are the one who would really want to make a career or a way of life in Armed Forces RIMC, SAINIK School, RMS. So Defense Officers Academy is the name for you, and you can contact us at the given numbers flashing behind me. WhatsApp number we've got, then we have got Telegram ID also, and you can come and take the classes and succeed in life. So good night everybody. Thank you for joining today's session.